Good morning and welcome to Office Hours. Here's my office. Mojo and I like to start the day with a walk. We're blessed with a beautiful day today. I'm coming at you from Kansas City, hence DCKC. My longtime friend Jim White's Carver. I really want to find the URL of that exchange we had in 1991 or whatever it was, working on the web stuff together. We've been working on patterns of cooperation without vulnerability since 1991 or so.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is like, the heart of everything. I mean, I'm focusing more on the user agent now. And, in order to be able to trust your robots to use your permissions takes the kind of, requires an object capability security. There's no other way to do it. You have to secure your stuff is not secure unless you use that model.
Hey, Jim, you want to do me a favor?
Sure.
If you're at your computer, or Steve, if you go to the Awesome OCAP repository,
Jim, are you going to do that? I'm on a little screen. I can do it, but I got a little tiny keyboard.
Awesome mocap. Here's where we are.
Okay. Excellent. So you see that 3-minute video? It says in 3 minutes. Oh no, go to the top of the repository. Where are we? I don't even know where we are.
We're at the issue there.
You see where it says in three minutes there?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you do the right kind of sharing where we get the audio from your computer and share that video for 3 minutes?
Yeah.
As we've heard, in the 70s, there were two main access control models. There was the identity-centric model of access control lists and the authorization-centric model of capabilities. For various reasons, the world went down the identity-centric path, resulting in the situation we're now in. On the identity-centric path, why is security likely a hopeless quest? When we build systems, we compose software written by different people. These composed components may cooperate as we intend, or they may destructively interfere. We have gotten very good at avoiding accidental interference by using abstraction mechanisms and designing good abstraction boundaries. By composition, we have delivered astonishing functionality to the world. Today, when we secure systems, we assign authority to identities. When I run a program, it runs as me. The square root function in my math library can delete my files. Although it does not abuse this excess authority, if it has a flaw enabling an attacker to subvert it, then anything it may do, the attacker can do. It is this excess authority that invites most of the attacks we see in the world today. By contrast, when we secure systems with capabilities, We work with the grain of how we organize software for functionality. At every level of composition, from programming language to operating system to distributed services, we design abstraction boundaries so that a component's interface only requires arguments that are somehow relevant to its task. If such argument passing were the only source of authority, we would have taken already a huge step towards least authority. If most programs only ran with the least authority they need to do their jobs, most abuses would be minor. I do not imagine a world with fewer exploitable bugs. I imagine a world in which much less is at risk to most bugs.
That was pretty good. That was very helpful, actually. So now with OCAPs, I have an appreciation for what the current system is based on, with the based on identity. So, yeah.
Is there any examples of products that are using OCAP model today?
Yeah, that page, the Awesome OCAP page is full of them. Jim, you want to show that? It's unfortunate that there are somewhat few of them, but that's why RChain and Agoric exist, is to make more of them.
Yeah.
That video was by Mark Miller, who's the chief science officer at Agoric.
Mhm.
There's a corresponding video by Greg that I can point out, but it's a little harder to find for me right now. It's what he interviewed for the board. You guys
Oh,
remember that?
really? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
think I've
from,
ever seen that one.
it's really good, from
Okay.
2017.
Oh, wow.
And Mark Miller is really responsible for bringing Dan and I back together again. And with Mike Stay and Greg.
Yeah,
I mean, he's sort of he created the notion, or you defined the notion of the smart contract back in the 80s.
Miller and Szabo did, yeah, and company.
Bill and Szabo.
Szabo is a guy who actually coined the term.
Well, Mark Miller is the guy who popularized it, I think. Maybe.
No, Vitalik is the guy who popularized it. Mark and wrote the Agoric systems, Agoric open systems papers in the late 80s.
Yeah, but Vitalik, employed the term for contracts for programs that are not smart and are not.
All right, RChain government, voting Rolang. And Connolly and collaborator.
What was that?
Sorry. It's I'm turned the video on accidentally.
Right. Oh. So this is our little clearing where I often let Mojo off the hook, but I don't think I have time today. Oh, Mojo! So there's a nice dead heron here. She
Oh,
likes to
gosh.
roll around in the carcass.
Dogs do what dogs like to do.
Yeah, she did that one day, and so I gave her a bath, and guess what she did? She found it again and rolled around it again. I'm an
Oh,
idiot.
gosh.
I should pick the thing up and throw it away. We got
Yeah.
gloves after all.
Oh, gosh.
What did it? Oh no, I can't find it. Oh, well. All right, let's go, Mojo. Oh, this way, Mojo. Let me know if my audio is bugging you guys.
Oh, audio is good.
So,
So Dennis, where did you say that you're located now? You said somewhere in Europe?
Yes, I'm located at Prague.
Oh, you're in Prague. Oh, okay. Very good. Yeah, both Dan, Jim, and I were the three of us were in the United States, but Jim and I were in the state of Florida. We're actually about an hour and a half apart. He's just north of where I'm at. I'm in the Tampa Bay area, and he's north of me.
Cool. How's neighbors?
And I think Dan's in Kansas City.
Yes, the metro area. I'm in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, this neighborhood I'm jogging through is where the really rich people live. I live across the street. The taxes are about anyway.
Yeah, that's where all the people who all the Ethereum developers live there. No, actually, the Ethereum developers don't stay in the United States long enough to pay taxes. Yeah. Yeah.
At least Vlad doesn't.
so
That was kind of funny.
Yeah.
At the Archangel retreat in 2017.
Mhm.
Should I tell this story? We had this great week where at the end of it, all of our minds were completely blown. And we're, sitting around, relaxing, staring at our phones. And it's starting to snow. Oh, isn't that nice? And then, crap, I can't remember his name. Nash comes in and says, get off the mountain before they close the passes and you can't get to your airplane.
Can't get to your airplane.
Yeah. So we all start, scattering, and we're about to get into the rental SUV. And I asked the driver, have you ever driven in snow? And she said, no. So the keys passed to me. And I drove us to the airport, and Vlad was a DJ. He played tunes, and we all got to know each other a little bit better. So that was cool.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, so you had
That
some.
story's in my blog, by the way.
Oh, so you had some one-on-one time with Vlad.
Well, small group.
Small group.
Yeah. I think maybe one near it.
Yeah.
Come on, pup. This way. Whoa. So, Steve, how about those financial reports?
Well, we're doing the best we can with what we have.
All right.
So, yeah, I know that we were told that our bookkeeper would be able to she set it up to where she could make pull out, put together the reports more easily. So let me, the recorder just ended, so I'll follow up on that. So actually we have our monthly board meeting on Tuesday, so I'll add it to the agenda. Thanks, Dan,
All right.
for mentioning that.
So I've got a new ETA. You gave me a 2-month ETA, which allowed me to tune out for 2 months. But now that one's come due, so I need a new one. All right. I
Yeah.
can now trust you for another week. All right.
Okay.
You did break my trust though, right? You didn't tell me before the 2 months were up.
Oh, well, I think I know
When you tell me
that.
you'll get something done in 2 months, your job is to tell me when it's not going to happen. I shouldn't have to bug you.
Yeah, but I think that I can't remember our last. I remember when we, if it was last time or the time before last, this has just been an ongoing issue. But I know Greg did chime in as far as the current status and why there were delays. So, but in that, I think it was the year in. His year-end review.
Yeah, I'm sure my baby brother puked on it. I'm sure my baby brother puked on it and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about personal integrity, one person to another. You tell me you're going to deliver something within 2 months. Before the 2 months is through the delay, right?
Okay, so you're saying that we spoke, well, so this is April, so that would have been
Look it
end
up.
of
It's on.
January. So I don't think we did have this conversation, but I think it was later than the end of January.
January 6th.
When? Well,
January 6th. When we get back to my office, I'll show you the hypertext audit trail.
okay.
So whatever happens at the board meeting will happen on Tuesday. Within 48 hours of that, I expect to hear from you. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I'll if that's what you want, then I will update you within 48 hours of the Tuesday board meeting. That
Right.
sounds good. Okay.
And if all you tell me is this will take 6 months, then we will be still playing the game.
Okay.
Right.
Well, now the person that actually does the reports won't be at the meeting, but
Yeah,
I
I don't
can.
care. They're not here right now. You represent the board to me right now.
Right.
Okay. You don't get to pass the buck.
Oh, what I'm saying is, as far as what you said, I'm trying to set your expectations.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, with the person who does the reports not being at the meeting, I won't, if it gets deferred to where I need to speak with that person, then I won't have
Okay.
I can update you in 48 hours, but it's
Okay.
very possible if I don't speak with that person, I may not have the status of the reports from that individual within 48 hours. So that's what I was trying to communicate.
Time to go this way. Where are we on time? Oh, I got 6 minutes to get to the office. Okay, my audio is going to go bad. I'll be back with you shortly.
All righty.
So should we reconvene and
Yeah,
on
take
the
a
hour?
5-minute break and see one back here in 5 minutes or so.
All right.
Cool.
He's back, huh?
Yeah, I'm moving to my computer.
Yeah.
That mode. So
Let me just
That's-
welcome everybody since the recording started. Hi, this is Dan Connolly. Welcome to my Saturday hobby office hours, where we talk about object capabilities and Archain and Agoric and stuff like that. So Steve, I don't know if you want to continue on that, but
no, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Dan. I'm focused on. So I'm creating an agenda item for our monthly board meeting, Archain monthly board meeting, to follow up on the financials. So thanks, Dan, for bringing that to my attention.
that'll be cool if we can get the financials on the blockchain and stuff. And since the most current we have is Q2 from last year, it'll be best if we can have Q3, Q4, and then Q1. And the membership agreed that would be done by the 20th. So that would be great. Oh boy. I should look at who's here. 7 of us. Everybody is free to share as much or as little about themselves as they want. Is my video on? Let's see. Yeah, my video's on, but I can't see that. There it is. Nice to see people's faces. Oh, it's very useful to know your time zone. Thanks to my host, Jim Whites-Carver, colleague since the early web days in the 90s. Steve is a long-time Archain dude. I've met Theo before. We'll get back to you. You're one of our featured guests. Dennis, we just met. I don't know if you want to tell everybody. I guess I'm kind of interested in the possibility of seeing you in Prague. Twitter.com, Agoric. See if it's on here. There's some kind of conference in Prague. I think it's May 5th and 6th. There it is. Prague, Czech Republic. That's where you are, right, Dennis?
Yes. Yes. That's right.
Get on the list, Gateway Events. What is this? Largest Cosmos Gateway Conference and Hackathon in Prague. Wait, 16 and 17. Oh, yeah, 16 and 17. Sorry, not May 5th and 6th. Dean Tribble is our CEO at Agoric, longtime capabilities guy. Let's see. So that's really cool to make that connection. Dennis, Frank Doherty. Have we met?
No, I'm a collaborator here at RChain, and
Cool. All right. Welcome back, Theo.
Hello, long time no
Hi.
see.
So you're actually scheduled today.
Well, I have to go soon, so I don't think I will stay here for long. How long is this meeting?
It's pretty informal. We could start with your stuff pretty soon. I was expecting Bill.
Bill's online, so maybe someone send him a DM, see if he can join. I can do that if need be.
Cool. Is the code anywhere near here?
For our drive,
Uh-huh.
yes, it's in a monorepo.
Boop. Packages R drive or stuff like that.
No, in apps.
Apps.
It is rpublic-c.
Spiff. All right.
Although I'm not sure how much of it will be running today, because I'm constantly making changes before Paris.
Sure. I'm sure it's in, but this is a playground where we can come and, file issues or whatever the heck, or contribute ideas and that kind of thing. So you guys are using submodules. That's always an interesting choice.
Yeah, I heard it's called a meta repo, so you can actually use, rather than having all of the stuff in one repo, you can actually use submodules and make it more flexible.
Yeah, I'm not.
Because otherwise the repo becomes way too complex and difficult to manage in terms of permissions and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, our permissions are real simple. Everything's open source. The entire Google company runs out of one mono repo. So it can be done. Whether it's a good idea or not, everybody's running the experiment. Yeah. Welcome, David. Long time. Okay, you're muted. I guess I've met you before, so I don't mind if you want to unmute or not. Theo, any advice on whether to wait for Bill? Or
I don't know. He looks like he's online. Maybe he's just
okay.
away.
Yeah, I sent him a message.
Okay.
Earlier today, we watched this 3-minute video by Mark Miller, and several people thought it was good. It's on the homepage of Awesome Mocap. We just mentioned that. This is sort of my day job. There's another thing, so that's on my mind. There's another thing on my mind this morning. Oh, sort of killing time. Don't play the video. Yeah, Agoric did a public sale in late December, and the tokens actually went out to 40,000 plus people this week. It was quite a circus. But That's not the thing I was looking for. This is what I was looking for. This is this deeply technical matter that here's hoping I get to today. Mhm. Yeah, we had this, we write our contracts in JavaScript, and we're starting to look at security seriously. So we're starting to put bounds on the signs of messages and all that kind of stuff. And this contract, when it's all bundled, is 1.2 megabytes. And so it trips one of the limitations, and I'm trying to deploy it to our existing DevNet without upgrading the DevNet. So my idea is it's in this bundle, or my idea is to ship the parts of the bundle one at a time. We actually, the bundler is called Endo, and it's one of our thingies. So anyway, that's where my propeller head is at this morning. T+10. Has anybody managed to get a Pong from Bill?
I sent him a text message, but no response yet on his phone.
Well, as soon as we decide to go ahead without him, he'll show up, right?
Yep. Probably.
That's your cue, Theo. All yours.
All right. I guess Bill wanted me to show the ArcDrive demo, since I think it's because it's relevant to the OCAPs, because we're using Archain token under the hood. So we actually gonna mounting Archain as a file system using Fuse. So I think it's kind of like a cool demo more than anything. So let me share my screen and get started. And I hope everything works, because I'm currently working on it as and you know how demos are.
Absolutely. Everybody have 10-second moment of silence. Everybody pray to the demo gods.
Yeah. So I'm currently going to start the application using npm, and this is a command. Those are the arguments that we're passing in. So we're passing in master registry URI for the token, private key, and folder where we want to mount the ArcDrive, and the validator address.
Just for anyone watching at home, no one would seriously put their private key in that spot. This is very much a demo.
Yeah, we're going to actually use an external wallet.
Sure.
Like Archain wallet on desktop.
All right.
So all the deploys will actually go through the wallet instead. So I'm gonna start it as Theo, and I'm going to open the file manager, and we see a folder called ArcDrive that appeared. So we can actually go into it, and we see a folder called Theo, and it's actually our box where we can store our NFTs. And obviously it is empty. So what we can do is essentially create files and write data to them. And I'm going to do that. I can just do it here. I have a test file in a parent folder, in a demo folder that exactly that has some data that's larger than 4 kilobytes, and it should be split into 3 chunks and uploaded once I run this command. So it will create a purse with a bunch of data chunks. And we should see a deploy coming in here. And it's the data looks like there's just a bunch of dummy data
Uh-huh.
for debug purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So we see we have we sent a deploy.
For your next demo, I suggest you put a picture of an ape there. That seems to be the thing to do.
Yeah, we see a deploy
Yeah.
with a bunch of data split into chunks. So
Yep.
there are exactly 3 chunks. This
Cool.
is the second one, like the third one. So it's not as large as the file, but we can actually upload them and damn it crashed. No worries, can run it again.
I'm gonna grab a snack real quick.
So we see our file has been uploaded and we can actually read from it. You can just do cat large txt. And unfortunately, we have to do it twice. There is a bug. So
Mm-hmm.
once I read it again, we should see the actual file content. Here it is. Exactly
Oh.
what we put initially.
That was fetched from our chain,
Yeah, all the data is on chain.
and it came back from our chain through Fuse.
Exactly.
Right.
So now there are some other features that I've added on top to actually manage the purses and basically to add some NFT logic. So we can create a file that has the same name, has a dot in front of it, and then ends with NFT. And it's sort of like a config file. Oh no, it has to be actually my NFT, like the name of the contract.
Ah, very interesting. Very interesting.
So now once we write to it, JSON that looks like this, that has price. We should see an outgoing deploy shortly. There is like a first 20 seconds delay that I've put for debug purposes,
Sure.
so that I can actually bundle deploys into one. So it does some smart bundling under the hood.
Right. Nagling.
So there we go. Now there is a deploy, update purse data, and it set a price for this NFT to 1 ref. So this NFT is currently for sale. So anyone should be able to buy it. So we can actually try to buy it using the file system. We just need to log in as a different user. So I'm going to use a different private key for this. And we're going to be a buyer. We save the package JSON and I'm going to restart the application. Really need to fix the crashes. Okay. Now we're starting the application as a buyer. And obviously we can't, we don't have permission to write to the Theo folder anymore. So we have to create our own. So we go into our drive and we do a make dir. We can call ourselves buyer. So and created a deploy to register a box.
Do an
For us.
LS for me. It looks like you did write to this. Okay, thank you. So it's not inside Theo, it's, okay.
Yeah, now we're creating a new user. So now we're actually inside buyer. And now what we want to do is to purchase this NFT, but we don't have enough ref. So we need to fund our balance with enough ref to purchase NFT. So what we do is to create a file called ref balance.txt. Again. So, okay, so I know what the issue is. It kind of happens after every deploy. So bear with me.
Right. While you're doing this, I kind of had an idea that the two parties in your demo could be game developers. One of them's just made this thing and the other guy goes, oh, that's cool. Can I have that? The guy says, sure, for 50 rev.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially we can store any type of asset. We can store game models, sound files, and etc.
Right, but you're the kind of guy who happens to have 100 game models on your computer, I'll bet.
Yeah, I'm going to sell almost the entire content on my drive. If anyone wants to buy it.
Anyway, I just think it would make an interesting demo. Or even a blue hat, you know?
Okay, also it has to end with .ref. That's probably what I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a special type of file. So now if we write the exact amount of revs that we want to fund our balance with, that we want our balance to have. So we do echo, and let's say we want to fund it with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 5 rev. So we have enough for everything. Then we should see another deploy coming out. That's called credit in Archain token. So it's a public operation that's called credit.
Yeah, I have to note that I have an outstanding objection to the names Archain token and purse, but we can pick that up later.
We're not going to stick with Archain token anymore because we want to actually have some flexibility in terms of file system. Like so currently, and of course the crash.
Excellent.
In this implementation, we cannot do nesting, so we cannot put folders inside of other folders. So it's kind of limitation of Archain token. You can add a box on top that belongs to another box.
Okay.
And we also want to add some logic to folders and call them smart folders. So currently the only logic that those the buyer and Theo folder have is the actual NFT logic of NFT contract.
Which is still pretty cool.
Yeah, so but the idea is that we should be able to program pretty much anything
right
inside of those folders and give them different type of kind of logic. Okay, let me go back to the.
But if I were, for example, an investor, I would say, yeah, I'll grant you that. You've demonstrated the hard part in a way. Yeah, maybe you need, well, as a technologist, I know what all those planks look like. I don't know what investors think.
So I'm going to open Theo's folder where NFT, and and all I have to do to purchase this is to essentially move it into my folder of the buyer. So all I have to do is do this. And voila, now we're waiting for, there we go. Now it did a swap of, so it essentially sold this NFT.
That's pretty cool. Can we see the balance file? Did the balance file change?
Yeah, we should see it soon.
Okay.
If I'm going to, oh, I'm gonna close this. And damn it, again, it crashed. It crashed after every deploy. I think I know what it is, so I'm going to fix it later. You want to check the balance, right?
I'm interested, yeah. I mean,
Good.
it's enough for me. Oh, hey, Bill. If you're telling me that, it basically works and today it might be a little bit buggy because you're working on something else, that's fine.
Cat balance.ref. Okay, and for some reason it's still 5,000, 5 ref. But I believe the NFT hasn't. Okay, I guess there is a bug that NFT did not, the sale did not go through the swap. I'm not sure why.
The software engineer
but
in me wonders if you have CI set up with that as a test case, but
Yeah.
the other sort of high level question I have is, are you trying to do anything about confidentiality, or is that just sort of not a feature you're after right now?
But currently all data is public, but
Okay.
we have done it in POC where all the data is encrypted and only accessible to the actual user who owns it.
Okay.
So we can do that as well in here. Just it's on the to-do list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in version 2, there's going to be encryption. In version 3, I'm hoping to hire an actual cryptographer and see if we can't start answering some of these really, really hard questions.
I don't suppose there's a milestone for version 2, is there?
I'm expecting version 2 by the end of summer.
Well, it would be convenient for me if that were here scheduled, and then if you decided to change it to it by a month, I could see that it had changed. If you don't want to do that, that's fine, but it would be convenient for me. Anyway, so this is at least part of your to-do list, right?
Yeah.
So I saw a bunch of stuff. The coolest thing I saw was when you dragged the file from one folder to another.
Yeah, it was supposed to actually do the purchase of NFT, but something is wrong with the deploy apparently. So.
Yeah, I can imagine there's 100 details that you have to attend to, but that's kind of a
First, not for sale. So it was not put for sale. That's kind of the
okay.
So I have to
No,
figure
but
out
doing
why.
simple drag and drop, doing security by simple drag and drop like that, and there was no questions about, are you sure, or do you want to give this permission to this guy? You just drag and drop, and that's how you express your permission. That's very much working with capabilities.
Yeah, and of course you cannot create anything in another user's folder. So if I am currently a buyer, right, and I go into Theos folder, and I try to, and if I try to create a file, and mount it. So this is a user I don't have no access to, and if I do a touch test.txt, cross it won't let me.
Right.
Because I don't own this folder.
Right. I'm just saying that this particular user interface is a little bit less compelling. This is the Unix command line, but the drag and drop user interface for expressing permissions.
Yeah, so consider the following idea. I create a file, and then I want to attach Roland capabilities to it. I grab those Roland capabilities, I drag them and drop them on the file, and now you're done, right?
Bingo.
Right.
Or you right click on the thing and set the price and all that kind of stuff. I mean, he showed us the dot price thing roughly.
Right.
Yeah.
I can try to do it again. Maybe it didn't work for some reason, or maybe I didn't have the exact private key.
Well, it worked well enough that I know what you're doing and I know where the code is and.
Please feel free to excoriate us in GitHub.
No, this is kind of fun. The one thing you missed, Bill, is so he moved that drag and drop from one file to another, and he shows the test data, and it was all A's and C's and stuff like this, which is fine. But he's a game developer, and I was saying, you can make a much more compelling demo if your user A is some guy who just made level 3, and user B is a guy who says, "Oh, that's really cool. Can I have that?" And user A says, "Yeah, for 50 rev."
Yeah, and then now you're in the metaverse, right?
Yeah, but I mean, Theo, you live in the metaverse, right? You're a game developer.
Yep, although I don't have any VR headset yet. It's on its way. It's
Okay, but
Arpara 5K.
A blue hat would be much better than A's and C's. Okay. I did see some game you developed a little while ago, a couple years ago.
What headset are you getting, Theo?
Arpara 5K. It's from Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
So they start in mass production soon, like this month.
Oh, okay, cool.
The can I show something for a few minutes?
No, these are your office hours. What do you think you?
Thanks, Theo. That was really cool. I hope to see much more progress. I had a few other ideas, Bill, that you can check the recording. Thanks for coming on a Saturday. I understand that's exceptional for you. Some folks that are new to capabilities and stuff, we watched this 3-minute video. Have you guys ever heard of the mother of all demos?
No, I haven't.
This is not gonna be the same thing. I'll tell you about both of them if you don't know that one. I'll bet Google knows what it is.
Mother of all demos.
This is Douglas Engelbart in like 1967 inventing the future. I mean, he's 68. Sitting there with hypertext and doing organizational communication with diagrams and all this kind of stuff. That's the mouse. He's the inventor of the mouse. I got to meet him in Austin, Texas, and I got to meet him and Tim Berners-Lee in the same weekend in 1991. Yeah, so if you haven't watched the mother of all demos, that's like, it should send chills down your spine as part of the. Okay, so the corresponding thing in the object capabilities world is safety from geeks bearing gifts. This talk is centered on a demo of CapDesk, our capability-based distributed desktop application. CapDesk uses no passwords, no user group lists, no firewalls, yet supplies a computing world invulnerable to viruses and Trojan horses. And if RChain is building CapDesk, this would be incredibly, incredibly cool. So I'll just, at some point in this talk, he drags and drops stuff, much like you did, and like you can drag and drop code and it's safe to run. There's no way to be viruses and all this kind of stuff.
Yep, all that stuff. That's where we're going, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have an idea, like on a to-do list, to upload rolling files and save the source code of the file and the actual compiled version of it. So you can actually invoke your code and see what you're actually invoking.
Right.
And be absolutely sure. But in order to do that, we actually need to expose parser to Rollang. So we can actually parse the string just coming in.
I'm not quite following you. I thought
The parser in the interpreter for Rollang is not exposed in Rollang.
it's called eval. It's a star. Oh, you mean to get yeah. Okay, so to go from a string to that.
Right.
You're sure you need that?
Not sure. We haven't really been pressing on it too much.
Well,
but
we need to do that
we
in
do
order
need
to verify.
access to it, right?
Do you need what?
We do need access to it.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I mean, the reflection in Rollang is evaluation. The star operator is evaluation.
Yes.
So
And-
usually parsing happens as part of a deploy.
Yeah,
Okay.
so how do I take a literal string that is stored on chain? And say, tell me that that Rolang is equivalent to whatever is stored in this channel.
Okay, I can see how that would be a challenge. Now, why did you paint yourself into that box? Oh, because you've got the code stored in one of these files that you've got in our drive.
Exactly.
The challenge is you want a user of your code to be able to look at the actual code, inspect it and say, that is going to do what I expect it to do. And so the literal code is stored side by side with the contract. Now, when you go to execute, you take the literal code and you compare it to the contract itself. If they are the same, you execute. If they're not, you toss an error.
Yes, this is the contract host that goes back a long time. It's part of the Zoe API. Yeah, we install bundles at runtime from source code, and you can get back from an invitation from an installation. You can get the source code back and stuff like that.
Right. And what's important there is you open a security hole where somebody can upload code that's different than the actual contract. So you need to secure that hole.
Yeah,
Which means you need to evaluate the code at execution time.
That's exactly how Zoe and the contract host is designed. So I'm afraid that involves changing our node. Not in an expensive way. It should be a 2-week fix, but I would suggest opening an R chip and all that kind of stuff and saying, hey, you got a missing widget here.
Yeah, I need access to the parser, to the interpreter.
Okay, who's filing the R chip? Should we do it now?
I'll do it.
Okay. You can definitely cite Zoe install bundle as a precedent if you want to. And the more of CapDesk that you guys build, the more of Mark Miller's attention you can have. If you want his attention.
So I'm sorry, I was trying to follow CapDesk. So how does it relate to OCAPs?
Well, that's easy to answer in 55 minutes.
Okay. Well, okay, but watching the video, is it this video which explains CapDesk? Okay. Okay.
I'm sure you have that instantly. There's this thing called the web where I can just give you a URL and now you can have the whole experience.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty happy to watch this, but I want to spin my propeller on something else.
Yeah. I'll follow your lead.
Right. Yeah, in fact, this business of installing code and parsing it at runtime and all that kind of stuff is on my day job to-do list. And I've hit a widget with hit a limitation with the size. We're hardening security things here and there, so we've got a limitation on the size of a message you can send to the chain so that you can't blow things up.
We also have the same limitations.
Right.
So we kind of have to bypass that by using chunks. So
yeah,
currently I think it's gRPC limitation. This is like 16 megabytes, or it's something you have to provide to config.
So our code goes on the chain as a bundle of JavaScript code, and we have our own bundler. So I use the bundler to find out, how many bytes are in each of the thing. Why is my thing so big? Well, I can use the same bundler to ship just this many bytes across and just this many bytes across. And I'm thinking about having a smart contract that's a contract, and we also have the hashes of all these. So I'm thinking of having a smart contract that's a little content addressable store where you can say, how many of these do you already have? Oh, you already have 2/3 of those? Okay, I only need to send you these. So I'm going to try to build that today. This is a thread in the Agoric dev chat. Oh, and Bill, I don't know if you were here when I mentioned that Agoric did a public sale in the end of December, and then we actually distributed the tokens this week. So there's all these people with, I lost my private key and whatever the heck, all these sob stories. But anyway, it was quite exciting to have the build go out to 40,000 build holders, and now all of our stakers are competing for now stake with us. So if we go
Yeah,
to,
isn't it funny how when you have stuff, everybody wants to be a part of it.
yeah. So the cool thing is we have all these validators. So now they're competing for the business of these 40,000 customers. Yeah, Agoric is doing sort of an opposite strategy of our chain. Agoric took bog standard Tendermint consensus and started a blockchain that doesn't have any of our special sauce, but we have a credible validator community. So we actually have a distributed system that nobody controls. And then we're going to have a vote using this community to turn on our special sauce, which is what I'm working on.
And when will the Big Mac be ready?
I'll show you our current roadmap. Our roadmap is going to be revised this Wednesday, April 6th, our monthly call. But in the meantime, why is it not doing it? Agoric helps if you spell it correctly. So complete build token distribution. Squeak that one in March in Q1. And then with the release candidate, we're trying to get all the code done in Q2. There's run protocol and platform. And then the actual launch is Q3 with permissioned smart contracts, and then Q4 is permissionless. So that's the current plan.
So by the end of the year,
Yeah,
you got a lot of work to do.
you think? We're hiring. Oh, yeah.
Not being familiar enough with Agoric, how many people are on staff?
The engineering meeting is 20 of us. Then there's a bunch of people that do real work. The sort of business development and stuff like that. I don't know. There's another, I lose count, 10 or 15.
So less than 50.
Let's see. I think they're all here. This can't be right. I think there's more than this.
No, that can't be right. I don't see Dan's picture there.
Oh, I'm on here. That's me. This is my picture from back when I was at the Web Consortium. That was the last time I had a professionally taken headshot. Actually, we did do new headshots. I don't know why the new headshot's not up there. We also have Gandalf on staff.
I've noticed.
Oh. Vanessa knows everyone in New York. Roland has the best radio voice in the world.
And here I thought I had the best radio voice in the world.
Tanya speaks Russian, deals with our 2/3 of the folks that signed up to be validators are from Russia. It's a really interesting community.
And that's got to be a really interesting dynamic right now with everything that's going on in the world.
You bet. What did somebody ask? Oh, okay. Let's see. Go around the room one more time. Jim, what's on your mind?
Actually fix the bug, figure out why I did not put it on sale. Do you want me to try again?
I do.
Okay.
But real quick, no, there's nobody who hasn't had a chance to talk. All right, go ahead.
Okay, let me share again.
while Theo's bringing this up, Dan, I see behind you, is that sheet music
Yeah.
and a cat picture?
Cat picture. Don't you know who this is?
Is it you?
It's Doge. My wife got me 2 of these at secondhand stores. Have you heard of Dogecoin?
I have, yes, of course.
Okay, this is Doge. This is Doge.
All right. I was just wondering if you were trying to put together like the notes for the for Smelly Cat from Friends.
No. No, I'm a dog person. Mojo's here with me. In fact, we started office hours early on a walk with Mojo.
Yeah, I apologize for being late. by the way.
That's fine. It's Saturday. This is not a work thing.
Well,
Okay.
I was up at 3 a.m. to work with China, so.
Interesting. If you're interested to tell us more about that, I'm curious. But first, Theo.
This is about the RPC mainnet rollout. So
Okay, let's try to purchase this. Let's try to sell this text file as NFT. So we do again touch.
Just for a second, don't you have any game artifacts on your computer that you could show us?
Not right now. I haven't
Okay.
done any game development in 2 years, unfortunately.
Oh, really? Interesting.
So, and we write the JSON to the special config file.
Theo is definitely all in. No game development in 2 years.
Yeah, only blockchain stuff. But hopefully I can marry blockchain and game development soon.
Yes.
It's also on my to-do list. Okay, now the purse is for sale, and I see the purse ID actually matched it. So that was kind of the bug. It had a dot in the end. So now everything should be all right. Just have to wait for for block to be created. But there we go. Completed, price updated. So we just put this NFT for sale. And as deploy, I'm working on that. And I'm going to change the user. So because we want to actually purchase it, so now we're going to go back to the buyer and use buyer's private key. Put it in here, save, and rerun. Okay, now we're back. Go to our drive, then go to buyer. Or we actually gonna open the file manager.
Fuse works on Mac and Windows, right?
On Mac and Linux. And then there is a layer you can use it on Windows, but those are kind of GPO
Okay.
license or proprietary. So
Okay, so your Windows strategy is complicated.
yeah, but we'll work on that
Yeah,
eventually.
yeah.
So now let's try to purchase it by using the drag and drop. So I am a buyer and I want this NFT, right? So I just take it. Yoink. And let's see what happens. We should see a deploy for the swap. There we go. You also see it in the log. Okay, then there we go. My NFT tail first removed from box. So it got removed from the previous box and it got saved to the buyer. So the purchase was successful. And now we can actually go back and because we're currently a buyer, we can actually see our balance has depleted.
Oh, I thought maybe you were going to just double click on the.
No, yeah, I can. I'm trying to use not make it crash or anything like that.
Okay,
Just
all right,
being careful.
right.
Uh,
Don't tempt the demo gods.
It crash after it crashes after every deploy. It was not supposed to. So. Oh.
Does it lose everything or does it keep some of the progress?
Well, the file is now here.
Okay.
And balance.ref. And because we deposited like 5 ref and the NFT costed 1, we should see 4 ref left.
Drum roll.
Yep, we got
Hey,
4 left.
bingo.
So
Everybody clap.
Yeah, now the seller, the previous user, actually has to withdraw the ref, and I can show how to do that. So we need to actually log out of this user and revert back to previous to Theo.
Right, or you could just leave it there in case you want to buy something. It's sort of how much money you're willing to spend on drag and drop operations, right?
Yeah, but now we're actually going to withdraw the actual ref to the actual ref wallet. So
okay.
I'm going to show how to do that. So now we're going back as Theo, as a seller.
Oh, I see. Yeah, somebody should collect some money.
We should have the ref balance file now. So. And it has exactly 1 ref. So what I want to show here is, we go back, we open Tommysoft wallet and check the balance here. So we can see that the money has transferred. Let me see. It's not mainnet.
I was going to say.
Okay, this is our previous current balance. It ends with 1 ref.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's go back here, and all we have to do is essentially just tell it how much wrapped ref do we want this balance to have by just doing echo 0. So it essentially means withdraw everything.
Yep.
Waiting for deploy. There will be no delay soon, so it will actually create as many deploys as possibly can and split them between multiple validators. So we see a withdrawal of 1 ref. So let's just wait for the block to be created. There we go. Completed withdrawal successful. Now if we check the balance again. Yeah, I guess block hasn't been created.
Yeah, it has to finalize.
Yep. There we go.
There you go.
Now it ends with 72 instead of 71. So we successfully purchased NFT using nothing than a file system.
Ta-da.
So for Paris, we'll have a more neat demo, like ability to just mint a bunch of NFTs by just drag and dropping like 10 or 100 of images and just minting them all. Like a bulk deploy. So
Yep.
all this stuff is coming. And that's it for now.
That was Paris, and what's the date?
I believe it 12th or 13th. of-
13th and 14th, April 13th and 14th.
Oh, April 13th and 14th.
Yeah.
No
Couple
pressure.
weeks.
Have to make sure that so it doesn't crash.
Are you having fun?
Me? Or
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun.
Okay, good. We're here on a Saturday after all, right? Hmm. We get 2 of Jim.
Yep.
And I get 2 of it.
Little audio weirdness there. Doo-doo-doo. Trying to think if there's other stuff somebody wanted to talk about. Well, I guess they didn't show up if they did. Oh, right. Now I remember there was a guy who I was invited, but I don't see.
Can you hear my voice?
Hi, Bill.
Yeah, I apologize. I did have a question. Does anybody know what a transfer switch is?
Like in a homeowner sense?
Yes, exactly, in a homeowner sense.
Any information I would give you would just probably get you into more trouble. I can only guess.
So one of the things that we deal with here in Georgia, where I live, is occasional power outages for, sometimes seemingly random reasons. To deal with this, my wife went out and bought a 12,000 watt generator. And now I need to figure out how to wire it into the damn house. And I am not an electrical engineer. I am a software engineer.
I have a nephew who, no, he's a mechanical engineer. Let's see. I could put you in touch with Rob, a friend of mine, Rob.
If you know someone, a hookup would be great. Because apparently I need to learn about transfer switches now. As if I don't have enough to do already.
Okay, switching over here. I'm going to send you email before I forget.
Oh, I haven't blocked you an email yet.
Wonders never cease. Okay, so Oh, let's see. I'm not showing my screen right now, right?
No, I hope not. Because I can't see it.
Yeah.
Mhm. So I trust you'll be very respectful of his time. He is a professional electrician.
Yeah, I
So-
just, I just want to ask some simple questions and
Sure.
I can go out and read websites myself, right?
Yes, but it's like, if your cousin coming to you and say, can you help me with my printer?
Yeah, okay, I get that. I get that.
I
I
you're a
just-
professional software engineer and dealing with these kind of things is not, for free is not what you're mostly you do.
Yeah, just give me some advice and I can take it from there kind of thing. And every now and then shoot a question your way, right? Yeah, I love it when my buddies call me up and say, you know about computers, don't you? And I say,
Right.
well, sort of.
Did my message get through? I just sent it.
Let me check.
So Dan, I had a question. In terms of the object capability world, what would you include in that besides Archain and Agoric?
Now, I'm going to share my screen to answer that question.
That's a good question.
Right, it's on your website, right?
You bet.
Yeah. Dan is the master of RTFM.
Why can I not find?
But I mean, what's the main important things that are happening in that realm? I guess it's Archain and Agoric, right?
And no, Sprightly is pretty cool. Why can't I? Oh, there's the meeting. Share screen. Zoom hides itself sometimes. Okay. Close that one. This is a big deal if anybody's not familiar. That's us right here. Okay. So this repository exists because capabilities are so cool and I didn't see people using them. So I said, hey, let me do a little marketing here. Okay, so they are used in applications and services, libraries and frameworks, programming languages, operating systems, all the way down to CPUs. There's some really cool action in CPUs lately. And then there's a bunch of talks. So there's a bunch of technology you can use today. And then there's talks about technology that sometimes has come and gone. So Sandstorm is a self-hosted web productivity suite. It has kind of peaked. Good. What's that?
I've used it before. It's pretty cool. You can run sandboxed applications and stuff.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea. It kind of peaked, and they did a crowdfunding thing, and the money ran out, and the main guy, Kenton Varda went and worked for. He's now at which of the CDNs does he work for? Who are the ones with durable objects and work CRUD? It's not Fastly, it's one of the other ones. Durable CRUD. Cloudflare workers. So you know how you can have Cloudflare thingamabobs? JavaScript running at the edge and all that kind of stuff? That's all powered by OCAPS. I should put that on here. This is a file system that uses none of the servers can read your data, and it uses capabilities to manage read and write access and stuff. Hardened JavaScript is what we use at Agoric. Capper is a little kind of small thing that I'll skip over. Lava Mode is pretty cool. The MetaMask folks, you write their wallet in JavaScript, and there's a lot of cryptocurrency at stake there. And so they use hardened JavaScript and this Lava Moat thing to manage their dependencies. So there's a really cool video showing how they use capabilities to manage partition risks there. Kaplan Proto is the technology that Varda uses at Cloudflare. He does pretty good marketing. It's a pretty shiny page. Infinitely faster.
So I've asked this question to various people at various times, but I figured Dan would have the authoritative answer. What is the difference between an OCAP and a facet in C++?
Yeah. Wiki. What about my language? And I'll put C++ there. If your language has memory safety, lose. So the difference is memory safety. In object capabilities have the same. There's this Bill of Rights. Let me go to the Bill of Rights. The OCAP Bill of Rights. So object capabilities, Mark Miller's work goes way back to these Agoric's open systems papers, and it's about message passing in sovereign entities all the way down to the CPU and up to the planet and everything in between. And so objects have to be sovereign. And if you don't have memory safety, you can't be sure that nobody's going to poke into your memory. So this guy, Corbin, put it this way. He said, the biggest distinction between object capability models and other capability models is that an object has rights. This is so entwined with the history of object capability discipline that the most well-known OCAP language, E, puts rights in their URL, erights.org. An object has the right to keep a closure of object references, its own capabilities private from other objects. Right to privacy, right to anonymity, right to be forgotten, right to safe computation. He goes, oh, I don't have the other blurb on this. Oh, here it is. Miller and Drexler, 1998. Encapsulation of information ensures that one object cannot directly read or tamper with the contents of another. Communication enables objects to exchange information by mutual consent. The encapsulation of communication ensures access that communication rights are similarly controlled and transferable only by mutual consent. I can't reach into your brain and change the contents of it, right? I can only send you messages.
Right. And if I allow you to change my data, then you can change my data.
Yes. So that was a mildly long-winded answer, but.
Well, I guess I'm specifically talking more about the facet concept. It's becoming big in certain places in the C++ world. And I think well, I mean, let me put it bluntly, I think it's a lame attempt to do OCAPs in C++.
Well, so I think it's an admirable attempt if they're attempting. So Python has this we're all consenting adults thing, which means that the language doesn't help you. It doesn't enforce object capability discipline, but you can still do it yourself. You can sort of program with one arm behind your back and do static analysis or whatever the heck, and you can be really careful, and you still get a lot of the benefits of OCAP discipline, even without strict encapsulation. So that's one of the things I do with Python. And then the other thing is, if they're doing facets, I'm all for it. That's one of the patterns of cooperation without vulnerability. It's right out of the capability pattern catalog.
Okay.
So Dan, I was hoping you could also give us a review of where we are with the Agoric art chain interface. I mean that you know, I guess you were translating Agoric objects to Rolang.
Yes. That reminds me that there was a possibility that Christine Limmer Weber was here. So I'm going to answer your question somewhat indirectly.
Well, you actually did deploys on Arch Chain from Agoric, right? Or no?
Yes, I will go and find that. I'll swap that in just a moment. So here's C. Weber on, I'll get to that. Give me 5-ish minutes. Sprightly, there we go. OCAPN is pre-specification will be the examination of the output, to what extent the Agoric, Sprightly, and potentially Cap'n Proto implementation can be unified. And I'm adding RChain to this list. I'll show you. And I'll skip the early part and see if, okay, so what you're talking about is not right there, but should be linked. What the heck? Yes. I believe this is what you're referring to, Jim. There's the digital signature of the deploy we did. Part of it anyway.
Right.
So one short answer, since you're already that far swapped in, is no progress in 21 days. I could try to retell.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking that it would be good for Bill and others to just get a quick overview of what you did.
Right.
Well, and RPC specifically is going to be hitting this issue directly come summer. So
have you stuck it in? Have you made a GitHub issue for yourself yet?
Dude, we are so heads down on coding that GitHub management has been lax. So
okay, okay, I'm willing to make that issue for you right now if you like.
So are you talking in the Arching community, or are you talking in the RPC, R publishing?
R publishing.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, throw something into R publishing. It's open source, right? Theo, can you explain how we run the R publishing GitHub stuff? Because we're using a monorepo, right?
Yeah, we went over that a little bit. So
very
this
sorry
is
at me, but I need to update it.
So this is as good a place as any to raise the issue. We can transfer it later.
Yep.
Yeah, go nuts, man. We're open source for a reason.
Okay. I'm gonna guess this as inter-shard communication.
Yeah, inter-shard comms. Yep.
Hypertext is fun. Does anybody want to be CC'd, or is this good enough?
That's good for me.
Whoosh. So one version of this story starts here, January 11th. Water. I'm out of water, which means I'm going to have to take a break soonish. All right. So E Writes is the guy that gave the 3-minute talk and the cap desk, beware of strangers bearing files. So we know who Mark Miller is, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. So we were doing this intensive review of the boring. It's moved to endo JS/endo. I should update that. Bear with me. Hypertext gardening. So Mark Miller has been doing a bunch of work on the marshalling layer in distributed object framework for Agoric.
This is the VAT stuff, right?
It's VAT to VAT communication, yeah.
Right. Okay.
So he was presenting this stuff, and it occurred to me how similar many of the data structures are to Rolang data structures. So in Rolang we have strings and lists and tuples and sets and maps and such, right? Mm-hmm. And these are all immutable. And JavaScript has lists, but they're mutable. And it doesn't really have tuples, but you can sort of fake it. And it has sets, but they're mutable. And it has maps, but they're mutable. And in E, I mentioned E a little while ago. E had immutable lists and immutable sets and immutable maps as well as all those. So of course, what we're doing with JavaScript is we're reinventing E. So the thing called copy array is an immutable array. It's an array where you can be sure that once you've copied it from one VAT to another, you got the same thing because it didn't change in the originator because it's immutable, which is just like a Rolang E list and so forth. And there are a few things that are a little bit like par is parallel, and that doesn't exist in the Agoric world, but I have some ideas on how to make up for the difference and so forth. Implement the above marshalling layer is stuff that I've made a little progress on.
How about bundles? So in Rolang, we have bundles, right? Bundle plus minus bundle 0, right?
Yes. I'm not quite seeing a lot of relevance. Help me out.
Well, the important thing about bundles is it restricts read or write on a channel basis, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be visible across this communications boundary.
Okay.
I think that's a toy that you get to play within our chain.
All right. I mean the whole thing about bundles is, if I could ship you a channel that you could only write to and not read from, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's the norm in JavaScript. If I send you an object and somebody makes,
but the opposite, right? So a channel you can read from, but you can't write to. And then the bundle 0, which is I give you a channel and all you can do is pass it around. You can't do anything with it.
Yeah, I mean, in JavaScript, we spell that. That's a bundle 0.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah, a read-only bundle is, you know, a little bit of hassle. I think we call them notifiers in our API, and yeah, it's, you know, it's 100 lines of code or something to build it. So the VAT TP layer is either easy or complicated depending on how much integrity you want. That's two-way reliable messaging with anyway, marshalling, and then CAPTP itself, translating that to Rolang. And given that, so that was, if I would expect, if you're maybe Steve, your eyes have glazed over at this point, but the interesting thing you get as a result is that you can have an R node talking this three-part stuff that we would build to the Agoric software, which already knows how to talk to IBC, which would get you out to Cosmos networks.
Right.
So that would allow you to, for example, trade R node on Osmosis. Trade Rev on Osmosis.
Or more importantly, for the direct application to RPC, this gives us sharding.
Oh yes, sorry, yeah, that is where we came from.
So
did they get hacked? Oh my gosh, they got hacked.
What's going on?
Osmosis.zone, which used to have this as its fav icon, and it used to look very different.
Oh, right.
If you go here, is this an April 1st thing?
April 2nd today.
April 2nd, yeah.
Well, some parts of the world it's April 1st.
Happy Fools, happy April Fools, Osmosis Brave.
Okay. That was cute.
That was, yeah.
Right. So you could end up with Rev on this.
So you could trade between shards using what is it, Osmosis?
Yeah, this is between
bats, right? Well,
it's between IBC enabled blockchains.
Right. So if RPC and RChain, the co-op, if those two mainnets had this layer, now we can do transactions between RPC and RChain.
Right.
That's the whole point of it. And this is what we're going to kick ass on this come May.
Okay, now we could use the Gravity Gateway to get to Ethereum also, right?
Yep. There's the Gravity Bridge.
Oh my God, Osmosis did 144 million
in a day.
Is that just today?
It's in the last 24 hours. That's how much has gone over IBC. These guys do, let's see, DeFi total value locked. Osmosis.
So Steve Henley, for your edification, this is the way that RPC and Dazzle would coordinate through RChain.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I attended a couple of Dan's office hours a month or so ago and got up to speed on Osmosis, the bridge, and what that whole endeavor is all about and why it's important.
Yeah, and and until RChain gets this kind of feature set internally, this is what we're going to do.
This is a workaround. Yeah.
But it's not
Not a
It-
workaround, but
it's not only a workaround. It's also connects to a
Access.
larger blockchain community, right?
access to the bridge to everybody else.
Yeah, so it's not a temporary thing. This goes somewhere.
Oh, yeah, understood. Understood.
Where did I-
And Dan has promised me, no, he hasn't. He has promised me that we're gonna get this done over the summer.
I've estimated that it's feasible, and I'm willing to do a little bit of, spend a few minutes on Saturdays. Sometimes I can't help building part of it.
Yeah, sometimes you want to get your hands dirty. So I
Right.
get that.
It's
Can't
it's
sit
not
and-
just you want to, it's that I constitutionally cannot not do it.
It's like, oh my God, I gotta do this.
Right.
I completely understand.
Yeah, it's like I can't sleep or something. The code, there's code in my head. It won't, I have to get it out.
No, it happened the other night with me and my wife too. I woke up in the middle of the night and I went, oh my God, I figured it out. And she said, and she said, fine, go into the office.
All right. Any closing remarks? Where did we go? So we're looking forward to ingesting some balance sheets into our vote, and we're looking forward to April, what is it again, Steve? Or Bill?
12, 13, 14 is the Paris Blockchain Conference.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, we abbreviate we abbreviated PDW,
Uh-huh.
PBW internally. So
Sure.
yeah.
Well, they do too.
Yeah,
And am I going to see Archain on here or?
I think Greg is giving a presentation. So
Okay, if I look for speakers. Oh, well, take your word for it.
Yeah.
So that's April 13 and 14. And we're also looking forward to May 16 and 17, the Czech Republic.
oh, there's a Czech Republic thing. Is Archain going there?
I don't know. Agoric is.
It's called Gateway Conference.
It's called Gateway to Cosmos.
Oh, Gateway to Cosmos.
Oh, that is so IBC.
Have you guys been to Prague? It's really cool.
I have not been to Prague. I have friends that live in Prague, and they came to visit me here in the States at one point, but maybe I should call them up and see if they can house me for a week.
Where'd it go? Did I spell Prague wrong? I've been to Prague, haven't I?
Oh, from what I understand, it's a beautiful city. It's got the river running right through it.
Huh.
Rapid Dennis is there, right? Is Rapid Dennis, are you going to the conference?
He said he hoped to.
Rapid Dennis, you're on mute. You're still on mute. And he keeps talking.
Oh,
There you go, Rapid Dennis.
Okay, so I will try my best to get there, but I just get known about it. So
yeah.
so if also I can maybe provide housing for 1 week at my apartment. So if someone is coming to this conference, welcome.
Yeah, they probably won't let me out of the basement because we haven't shipped our product yet, but Dean Tribble is the CEO of Agoric, and Zaki is kind of the main Cosmos guy, or one of the main. He's a leading light in Cosmos. He's got 28,000 followers.
Has there, and we may not know the answer to this question, but has Greg Meredith had the introductions as well?
Greg and Dean Tribble met recently at the Intelligent Cooperation thing. I'm sure it's on the Archain blog somewhere, isn't it? Let's try that. Site archain.coop intelligent cooperation. I remember it was discussed in one of the where's the blog?
So
Anyway, yes.
the big question in my mind is Steve Ross Talbot, the CEO of RPC. I mean, Europe is not really that large of a place. He might be able to get there.
Sure. Foresight Institute. This is when Greg met. Well, Greg probably knows.
He used
they
to work
probably go
with.
back a while ago.
Yeah, they worked together on a paper or something like that.
They both were at Microsoft, so they might have bumped into each other there too.
Yeah, they're colleagues. They actually worked together on something.
Yeah, I can't imagine having an office next to Greg Meredith. That would like oh my God, seriously? What I can't imagine the conversations that I would hear.
All right. So there's lots to look forward to. And
yeah, I think the summer is going to be very interesting.
All right. And on that happy note, I think I'm gonna sign off.
So I'll be in the hospital. I go under the knife on the 11th.
I didn't know about that. You want to stop the recording and tell us a little more?
Oh, it's all right. I mean,
I would suggest stopping the recording.
I got that on the other computer here.